Okay, it's whatever. I hit it twice. It seems to be working now.
Talk to them in chat?
Yeah, say hi to everybody.
Well, do it.
Look, it's live.
All right, very good. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Yule, and that's Lewell on the other end, and it looks like we were talking with each other. Did you guys hear any of that beginning? Jesus. All right, so hello, everybody. Larry King and Fantinuum, welcome to the show. I'm another person in chat, and I bet so is Lewell. So anybody that's showing up that hasn't in the past or is going to in the future, we just talk about comics that I read, comics that are coming out tomorrow and talk about comics from a store's point of view, one that's in Berkeley, California, like our fantastic. And let's get things started. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Yeah.
Lewell, tell me about yourself for a moment.
I played D&D this weekend. I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about my character.
Wow, you played D&D, huh?
Oh, yeah, for 3 days. Ooh, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and most of Monday. So almost 4 days straight.
How many hours per day is that?
Not as many as it was back in junior high because there are children involved now. Philip's got 3 kids, so, they get in the way. They're great kids, but they get in the way of D&D, And
who else is playing when you play?
This guy from Texas named Rick, who's friends with Phil from way back when, Phil's wife, and Phil's wife's best friend from the 3rd grade, Jen. So Jen, Colleen, Rick, myself, and Philip runs the game.
I see Doritos and Mountain Dew. Were you consuming those?
No, I did it. Yes. Hold on. I don't want to lie. I ate some Doritos, but no Mountain Dew.
Everybody knows Mountain Dew has the most caffeine.
Corey. Kids don't ruin it anymore. They have ruined it before where it was literally impossible to play because they were so needy. And there's 3 of them. But nowadays they parent in the American fashion.
Video games.
So they put them in front of the TV or YouTube and they say, don't bother us. Here's a bunch of soda. Stay out of our way. And they did pretty much. So we played a lot. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. I think Rick cheats like a little bee. But
you mean like he rolls and then hides it and re-rolls again?
No, like I think he read the module. So he knew so I think he knew what was going on.
Reading the module, that just seems to be the lamest thing you could do.
What is the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, people cheat in video games and there's no reason to do so. The admiration of your peers, it's not real. Nobody really cares if you're good at a video game, unless you're really the best.
That's interesting you should say that because I guess there was some online drama with video game reporters saying something about finishing the game with cheat codes and stuff like that. And then, of course, real gamers are saying something like, you can hardly review a game if you have to cheat to get to the end and all that other stuff. I know I'm probably just really broad-based, that whole idea of what was going on.
Do you believe in cheating? That's the question.
I don't think I would look up something to find out how to finish it. If it was something like how to get a move off in like a Street Fighter game, I don't think that's quite the same. But when I was playing like NBA Jam all the way back in the Sega Genesis days, there were cheat codes to make big head characters. That's what we called cheat codes. But I do remember there were video game manuals on like how to maneuver the maze to get Pac-Man to beat that and stuff like that. But I don't know. You got to still do it. So maybe that's not really cheating. Maybe in the RPG games it is.
It's still
all you have to do is say this to get this ending. Then that is a cheat.
Well, it's impossible to know everything that you can know in like games. You know, a lot of people are completionists. They want to be able to do everything that you can do in the game. And obviously, most people aren't going to be able to figure out all that stuff or have the time to. And they publish those books to sell right alongside with those brand new
were very
games.
popular. Yeah.
They're really popular, but you know, you can't sell them used. I know that. Nobody buys that crap. Not used. It's like,
I'm really surprised that that's a thing, you know. I mean, I know
think
Jill
parents might buy those for their kids when they buy the game, not realizing just how much nobody really wants them.
Yeah.
I've never been tempted to have one or want one or buy one. Those special edition hardback books that they make for video games really blow my mind. Like, what do they do? That's wasted paper.
Yeah. Going to chat for a second. Steroids being introduced in video gaming. I think it has happened already. If you play like those NFL seasons, I think there have been players, maybe not real NFL, because you don't want to implicate a player in a video game that they're doing roids, but maybe like in the pretend football games that are, you know, Super Blitz 95 or something like that. Anyhow,
did you see this stuff going on in chat?
Yeah. Video game guys, man.
Larry King, you're hilarious. I mean, of course, somebody does it. I know it's not. It's just that me, like, I don't know, whatever. What I saw at the bookstore was we couldn't give them away. That's all I know. But hey, did it work for you? Did it work? Did you get what you wanted out of that thing? Dude, Adderall is for everybody. It's not just pro gamers. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want yours, give it to me. Send it to P.O. Box, whatever the hell.
Adderall. All right, very good.
Exactly. Let's talk about
Woo! I'm drinking beer.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
yeah.
I need to change my shirt to a black T-shirt.
Oh yeah, so it's just your head floating. I saw that.
Yeah, I was thinking that might actually work. I just have to turn the light off in here so that the only.
Oh, dude, King's Quest and Police Quest and all that stuff. Those, those. I don't remember how we got. There was in King's Quest. I remember the very first time we played that. All right, so everybody that is young.
King's Quest was difficult, if I remember correctly.
So we had in 1980, we had a Trash 80, which was a Tandy computer, which is a Radio Shack computer. So TRS, Tandy Radio Shack computer.
They're gone.
And we had one of those, and we had King's Quest, and it's basically a IBM PC. And we had King's Quest, and just at the very beginning, it was so difficult to know what to do. This is the first time you're playing a video game like this ever. And we had to go back to the shop and actually get a hint. And it was like, oh, I get what's going on here. And it was pretty easy the rest of the way. And each subsequent one got a little bit easier, actually. They kind of ran out of things to do.
Did they?
The Space Quest was cool, too. Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry was probably the best one. But probably, you know, kids 13 and younger, because if I was 13, my brothers were not. And we're playing Leisure Suit Larry. He's trying to score with ladies all the time and get in hot tubs. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. I remember encountering King's Quest. I don't know if it was the first one or not, but it was a very long time ago when I was probably in junior high. And I remember being kind of, typing in a game. It didn't sound fun to me.
Yeah, hot tubs.
Yeah, I guess hot tubs are all right.
Filthy germ baths.
You know, I was thinking I should change my career to one like marine biology or something, so that every time you go to your job, there's a chance of women being in bikinis. I don't really care about men in bikinis, but
you think there's going to be a lot of women in bikinis in marine biology?
I do. Yeah, I just watched a documentary on octopi. I think it's octopi. Anyway, they're super, super smart. And there were definitely marine biologists in bikinis. And I was like, this is interesting. Don't mind if I change careers here real quick, fella.
I have to suck in my gut.
Instead of talking about comic books, I'm going to move to Mallorca and learn how to dive.
Yeah.
Go be a creeper.
Cool. Yeah.
Ooh, I could be a boomer and a creeper.
Definitely a boomer, because anybody that was paying attention last night, we gave a notice that we were going to be on at 8.
No. This is not my fault. This is a YouTube problem. Both times that I checked, it said the 9th at 9 p.m.
You said it was the 9th.
It is the 9th. Today is the 9th.
Well, I mean, I know today's the 9th, but the one that was yesterday was the 8th, and it said 15 minutes ago.
I set it for Tuesday the 9th at 9 p.m. twice.
And yet it did it the 8th. That's people trying to get in the store.
Can't help it. Hey, man, just because you've got people that want to buy books from you doesn't mean,
someone that does that over and over repeately, you just want to.
When they shake the handle and try to get in?
It's like, never mind. Anyhow, that's the comic store for you.
They're out the door right now trying to get in.
Well, they were, yeah.
Why don't you chase them off, man? Get a dog.
Well, I mean, by the time I would have got there, well, we have a dog, but he's not going to chase me.
That dog was Gary. Was going to lick you to death?
Yeah, exactly.
A 1, a 2, a 3, a crunch.
You look very relaxed right now.
I've been sober for too long.
I see.
All day, in fact.
Oh, my poor little.
Well, don't feel sorry for me. It was a tactical decision. I need sobriety to do a few things. And one of those things is planning podcasts.
Yeah,
I can't do that if I'm.
Well, you can't do that. And then with YouTube helping you out with scheduling things a day early.
I don't know. That it hurt us.
Maybe there's something wrong with your clock and their clock.
No, I've checked. It's mountain time. And I always set it for 1 hour.
Huh. Well, it was hot here at the store today, and I was drinking, and I'm still drinking. So maybe we should get on with this.
Were you drinking water, buddy?
Well, I'm drinking water also. Beer. See?
Alcohol is no bueno, bro.
Man, I know, but to get through a day, sometimes you just want to do it.
I guess.
Anchor steam and water, of course. You need water, but there's water in that too. So
there's water in pee-pee also, but you don't drink that.
Well, still suits. Dune's coming. Who knows? That might set like a whole new fashion.
Is there a date for that nonsense?
Not that I know, but I don't really pay attention to that too much. To actually have said it was way more than I actually know. I knew more about that other thing I was talking about a few months ago.
This is a nice segue you got going on here, buddy. Really good. Yeah. So speaking of Dune, that movie's coming out sometime in the next decade.
Speaking of Dune, I'm not a fan.
You know what, though? You know why you're not a fan, Yule?
What's that?
Because people like it.
Oh, yeah. Is that why I don't like Superman by Brian Michael Bendis?
No, that is because Michael Bendis is popular.
Yeah.
Not Superman. It's got nothing to do with Superman. Who's
I didn't say that. I said just the fact that the one that he was doing, I don't like. There you go.
I'm sorry. Anyway, Dune is coming out sometime in the next couple of years. I don't even know. But if you do find out something, please let me know. I would be interested to find out, because that guy did not ruin the sequel to Blade Runner.
Okay. Oh, you're the guy who's going to be directing that movie?
Yeah. He's got to be about my age or somewhere in there, because he decided that he wanted to remake 2 of my all-time favorite movies. And I got to tell you, when I heard the news, I was a little bit not cool with that.
These guys are talking about drinking our own urine.
Did you hear about? Okay, so this really happened.
Okay.
There was a Chinese exchange student in the state of good old Florida, and he got arrested. I don't know why. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But he got arrested on a Friday. And everybody in the porn industry knows you don't work on Friday because you can't get out till Monday. So they only work till Thursday. Well, anyway, this guy, he didn't learn that lesson. He
Wait,
decided
was he
to get
doing porn?
I'm sorry, Yule. I'm telling a story here.
Yeah,
He decides that he's a ding dong, this Chinese exchange student, and he's going to get arrested on a Friday. He thinks, oh, this is America. No big deal. I'll be out of here in no time. No, they forgot about him. They forgot all about him all weekend long and it was a holiday weekend. They didn't work on Monday. So he was in jail for days and he ended up drinking pee-pee because he was starving, thirsty, no water, hot, Florida, prison, all by himself with nobody there. He ended up getting over $1 million.
Well, I would drink my own urine for $1 million.
Good Lord. I mean, you'd be stupid not to, you know?
I mean, that's the easiest. It's the easiest million there.
If he's from China, that's so mean.
Oh, Jesus.
I think they've got plenty of water. I don't know, man.
That guy, he's a Fantinuum. Shame.
You just don't want to
do that with your company name.
You know what I mean? No pee-pee. Don't do it. Don't drink it. The army manual says don't do it, period.
Don't do it.
Yeah, because you're just drinking toxins your body was already trying to get rid of. So you're just drinking more of those toxins and more, doesn't get better with time. It's not like wine. What's the vintage of this urine? That's so good.
That's PP22.
Do you savor those oak notes? I do. Yeah, no. All right, man.
Do I taste asparagus?
You would too, because that stuff is instant. You know what I mean?
All right. I knew we knew a person who used to be a dom, and they didn't like this one guy because he liked to act like a baby, basically, and everybody didn't really like his shit at all because being a baby, you want to get swaddled and cleaned up and stuff like that.
Did this guy poop himself for fun?
I think he kind of did.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring.
So he wanted the girls to piss on him, and they were like, no, we're not going to do it. And he's like, we'll pay you a crap ton of money.
And they were like, okay.
They fucking ate they ate asparagus before doing that. And he knew immediately. He was pissed off. Oh, are we okay,
hold on a second. So
I saw that.
There's a difference between pretending to be a baby and wanting to get pissed on. Those are two very different things.
I think this was I might have screwed up a little bit of the story, but something like that. Yeah. Good thing. Probably a good thing. Anyway, that was a fun little story.
That was a good story. And if anybody wasn't clear, that was dominatrix. Those are my favorite words in the English language. All of the the tricks words. I love them. Aviatrix, dominatrix. There are a couple of weird ones too. They're not very many. Anyway, Yule.
Yes, sir.
I heard a rumor that this was a comic book show.
Oh, yeah, we did. Well, I was. Look
at my chair.
Well, that Dom used to work at the comic store I used to work at, so it ties in.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I was working on a segue, dude.
Eating people and drinking urine, and I was just going along with it. I just wanted to, get a pee story in.
Corey's right. Demonetized everybody. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We're really sorry. You're not going to get to see any ads. Bummer.
So, let me talk a little bit about the store.
No,
hold on. So the last few days we have had some winners hanging outside the store. I had them out all weekend long.
Hold on. First, some backstory for anybody that doesn't know what downtown Berkeley is like. It's a cesspit. Go ahead, Yule. Please continue.
All right. So that was usually relegated, I assume, for Telegraph Avenue. And Telegraph Avenue, people call it Telepath Avenue. Or at least, old people called it Telepath Avenue. Because, you go up there to score some acid and stuff like that. There's a lot of bums and a lot of people selling stuff. We have a local person who we used to call the Brad Pitt lady because she'd wear a hat that had Brad Pitt on it. She also liked Tony Hawk. She had a hat that said Tony Hawk on it. So depending on how you knew her, she was one of those two people. She was a nut that makes hats, and she's really cool. She's a story all in herself. Anyway, she would sell stuff up there. She was the kind of person that you would expect to see. Telegraph is dead. I don't know what happened, but there's one fire. It's owned by one person, basically the whole street, and nobody really goes up there hardly at all. So there is a lot of people down on Shattuck now, and from time to time, especially when it gets warmer, people start sitting out in front of the store. And there's really nothing we can do. We call the cops. They talk to them. They maybe suggest that they move or move on or do something, maybe tighten up their trash. But, yeah, it doesn't always happen. So for the whole weekend, we basically had these guys. And this guy is a nut. He had a hook. I don't know if you can see my fingers, kind of like that. And it had like a string. Supposedly, Kyle said when he was working at Pete's, which is a coffee shop, this guy basically was swinging it around, threatening the manager. And they're like, you're not allowed in this store anymore. And there was a lot of people coming around, congregating, and it was all I could do to not, get in some sort of confrontation. Finally, they're gone. Yesterday, they finally got, had to pack up and get out.
Oh, they found jobs?
Yeah, exactly. This guy isn't finding a job. I felt very comfortable calling the police and saying, this is going to probably get violent if something doesn't happen soon.
He could go be a fishmonger somewhere.
Yeah, well, this guy, man. When people are walking around the city without shoes, I think that's usually a giveaway that they're beyond homeless. They're not even trying anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, so we are very we don't do anything for the homeless, but they're more than welcome to just sit on the street, or at least for a while,
until they become a nuisance.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, where are these people coming from? Kyle's like, out in Detroit, Michigan, if people are homeless, they die off in the winter at least, which is a sad thing to think about.
I don't think that. I mean, yeah, people die in the winter, but like New York City's got bums, and they don't all. I mean, they do die in the winter, but not all of them.
Yeah. You gotta find those underground sewage area or sewer areas to subterranean tunnels like the Morlock.
Dude, have you felt the air coming up from under the city? It's warm.
It's very warm and disgusting.
Who cares if it stinks, dude? If it keeps you alive, that's what matters, right? Go live in the subway. Become Chud. It's fine. Right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Chud.
Okay, so the retail establishments in downtown Berkeley have had problems in the past with people who camp out in front of the stores, make a mess, poop on the sidewalks, in the store doors. It doesn't really matter. San Francisco has the same problem.
San Francisco has it worse, obviously.
Well, I mean, there's obviously a lot more money floating around just on the streets of San Francisco. Berkeley's really a small town that has a big college.
Yeah, and the thing about downtown Berkeley is there's a lot less. There's a lot of food places, but there isn't a lot of places to spend money unless it's our store, the Half Price Books that's right next door. Down the way, there's a Pegasus bookstore. And then there's cell phone stores all the way, all in between. It's either food or cell phone stores.
Dude, I figured it out.
All there is.
Yep, and I know why. I finally figured it out. Okay, so this is the boomer in me talking. I finally figured it out, kids. There's going to be a day in the future where the only thing your money's really good for is to augment or upgrade yourself or your children genetically, or with other means. That's it. Like books, who cares? In the long run, upload that shit to the library. And sorry, it's been 5 minutes though.
Oh yeah, we're done with the pissing talk and everything. I think it's fine.
It is. I mean, that's what I would spend my money on: life extension, better intelligence, better genes for my children, yeah, etc. That's what I would spend my money on.
What about swapping of consciousness to my cloned brain? How's that?
Yeah, for sure. Whatever it takes, man. Yes, people will pay for that. Whereas they're not going to pay for used books much longer. I mean, there will always be some of us, but
well, I did.
yeah, clothes for your children, but they're going to have, the cell phone's going to be built into the pocket, and the GPS, tracking device is going to be built into the tag that says Levi's.
I read a real bad Arthur C. Clarke novel when I was younger. It was one of those that he writes with like another person. And they had like chips in their fingernails that they would like stick into whatever so that they could get their credits or whatever. And it was such a foreign concept to me. I just didn't really understand what was being told to me. But now I'm ready for it. Put the thing in my eyeballs so I can see better. I know you're recording, but just give me a couple bucks off that. I'll be happy.
I
hate paying for other people advertising through me. Like this shirt, like this hat.
Okay.
Oh, well. Okay. I guess I do like it.
Why not, right?
But not the whole thing. I mean, I get it at a discount at least. I'm owning a store, right?
Magnets. Why would you put a magnet into your body?
Aren't they supposed to be better for like a healing a healing thing? You put magnets and
I'm not putting anything in my body that is not, put there by a surgeon that's actually a doctor, that's actually really a medically trained individual. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to put a magnet in them unless it's doing something for them, right?
Have you ever met somebody that put bumps in their body?
Yes, I've seen the horns too. And I have to say that I am not disappointed in these people simply because their willingness to look, women with breast implants too. I had a very different opinion of it when I was young. I thought it was unnatural and I thought it was cheating evolution. But as I get older, I realize these people, not just that, these people are willing to change their bodies for no other reason than they want to, right? And it's that kind of malleability of the body that people need in order to do stuff like get implants that will augment their minds, right?
Yeah.
The first people to put a neural net in after it's invented will be one of those type of people that has money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I have the money, I'll do it. I don't care about having bumps. I don't want that kind of attention, but I'm more than willing to forego this body for a better one.
Right.
Oh, sneaky pants. Look at you.
I'm working it right now.
You're not working anything. Everybody knows what you just did. Dirty, dirty Californians. God, and you're legal. I swear to God, I hate that state. They're legal weeds and they're California's amazing. I like it there.
Cool. We got good weather too. It's warm right now.
I don't know if you have good weather. You might have the best weather, but
well, I come from Southern California, so people that would travel up here would always come back down and say, "Oh, it's so wonderful to be in a place where there's some weather." And then of course, other people come over here from other states and they're like, "Wow, it's really awesome. There's 2 seasons."
Yes, I don't know if that's awesome. All right, Yule Carter.
I'm working on it. Keep talking.
Oh, I got you. Well, I see. When I go off on a rant like that, that's when you should do stuff like this, not after I'm done, right?
Well, I didn't think about it until then.
I know. I should give you a warning. I'll be like, "Oh, I'm about to go crazy. You can turn off your camera. I'm going to talk now about things and stuff."
Well, I was going to talk about like some other things, but who cares? Let's just get on with some comics that I read.
Okay. Well, do you have your camera set up for such a thing?
I have it. I gotta see it now. That's the only problem. Oh, look at that.
You got to pan. Move that in a little closer.
Yeah, I know. Okay, of course I'm not watching the chat, so that's up to you now.
The devil's lettuce, Larry. It's the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, Larry said he doesn't like the smell of weed.
That's cool, Larry. Let me tell you about this. You don't smell a thing, Larry. You don't. Don't smell a thing.
Eating in the vape.
Yeah, the vape's okay. I don't really like what it does to my throat. It makes it a little bit too dry. But the edibles are great. Absolutely great. You get a precise dosage every single time. You can actually get exactly as medicated as you need to be, which is, exactly how much you want. All right, let's go.
I thought instead of talking about comics I read first, people seem to like those things.
I do.
This is Batman Black and White statue. That is Sean. The White Knight, which was a really popular series here at the store. I hear it other places also. Probably going to win like some Eisner or something. I already cut it open. So here's the base. Here, I'll show it. All right, the base. And then here's the statue. We don't really get a lot of statues here in the store. But again, this was pretty popular. And the black and white statues do pretty well for us. Let me just do it this way.
I'm sorry. Did you said the black and white statues?
Yeah, the Batman black and white statues. It's a series. Look at this. It's hard to put in. Look at this piece of crap.
It'll be hard to get out, too.
Well, that's good. Well, I don't know. This is pretty shoddy, if you ask me.
Jeez, sequential.
Look at that.
I've never done that.
You got to actually hold that out now.
No, you got to turn it a little bit. Spin it around while you're talking.
Yeah.
From the base, yeah, Neanderthal.
Stop it. We said we wanted to get a hand model for this. Anyway, it's not all the way in, but once you get it in, look at that. That's cool. There you go.
Looks a little wobbly, man.
I just said it's not in all the way.
I heard you say that, and I'm watching you spin the thing.
It's wobbly, you dumbass.
Because Yule doesn't know how to put it in?
Are you? Stop that. How dare you say that? That's very rude. Say that out there like that. Look at this. This is cool. I don't know. Can you catch that? You see the grappling hook right here?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Unboxing.
Can you put it in the background so we can look at it while we're looking at everything else?
No. Yes.
Move that plastic.
Here. Eugene, fix that for me, will you? All right. We'll get that fixed, and then we'll do that. Anyway, Bronze Age Boogie.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
What?
Thank you. I think they think we're boomers.
That's not my fault. I swear to God. That thing is, it's got like paint chips inside it. And since
are they lead paint? Eat that stuff, man.
I'll eat it later. We're fixing it even as we speak. I also got blind bags in. Look at that. So these are Batman black and white blind bags. You don't know what's going to be in any one of them. But I'm going to open this right now because what I like to do in our store is open one of these so that if a person doesn't like what they actually get when they open it in front of us, which it gives me a little bit of a thrill, I would say, they can trade it in for whatever's here. Unless, of course, I really like this. These come with cardboard in between them. And, of course, people still try and like feel them up and figure out which one it is. So here we go. We've got the Patrick Gleason Batman. This is pretty sweet. So this is a $75 statue, probably, like that one over there, in very small form. So it's much cheaper. Yay. Anyway, if you're a Batman fan, the different artists are Darwin Cook, Patrick Gleason, Amanda Connor, Jason Fabic, Dick Sprang, and Frank Quitely. Ooh, I know a few people that want that Frank Quitely one.
So which one did you just get?
Patrick Gleason. He did the Batman and Robin. That he works with Peter Tomasi often, and anytime they're on a book together, it's usually quite good.
Can you show me the back of the packaging again?
No. I just threw it on the ground, you God.
And the ground is so far away.
Right. I don't know where
I mean, you're so tall.
Yeah, I am. Here. There you go. Look at that.
Which one's the Frank Quitely?
Oh, that one right there. See how thin he is? And the thing about it is that's actually Dick Grayson as Batman. So there you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bronze Age Boogie. This is by Ahoy Comics. Ahoy Comics did a few books last year, one called The Wrong Earth that got a lot of people jazzed for the company. This is a fantasy story, although there's a lot of I don't know, idioms from like the 70s and earlier going, and it's got really good art. I like it a lot. We're following this tribe that are trying to fight this wizard, attack the castle, but this gem, I don't know if you can see that, is basically destroying them even as they approach. So this story is about this young woman. There's a sort of mix as far, what's it called? It's not an anachronism, I don't think is really what I'm looking for, but basically there's a future and a setting, and the worlds are kind of merging a little bit. There's extra stuff in here, but this first story is about like 22 pages. Anyway, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. I don't know if I'll keep reading it since I got so much to read, but I wanted to put something in that wasn't, just superhero. Anyway, that one's a pretty good book. Ahoy Comics, yay. Justice League, I've been reading this and liking this. I don't really have too much to say other than there's a big fight. There's a big reveal on who the bad guy is. Oh, you look, Shazam. That's a movie. I don't know if you know that. Oh, Jesus, ads everywhere.
What a great book of ads that is.
God damn. Oh, at least it was an ad for Green Lantern. That was pretty cool. Anyway, the guy who is pretending to be Superman of the Sixth Dimension, we find out who he is. He's involved with their big bad guys like the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor and stuff like that. This is good. I like it. It's part 3 of 6, so you can imagine how it plays out. There's a big cliffhanger at the end.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Snyder and Jimenez doing the art. War of the Realms #1. This miniseries came out. This was excellent. I like this one a lot. Odin was dispatched by elves when we saw him. Thor is stuck by Malekith, who pretended to be Loki in a realm, or in the realm of frost giants. So what is that, like Jotunheim or something like that? And on Midgard, the elves are attacking the Asgardians that live there. There's Spider-Man. There's all sorts of superheroes we like from the Avengers. There's excellent artwork and advertisements. You saw that last week. Look at that. That's pretty cool. This whole fight is basically taking place on Midgard, which is Earth for those of you that don't know. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the rest of this series. It's coming out bi-weekly, so hopefully there's no delays.
What is that? Stop the ad for X-Men Grand Design. What is that?
Don't look at that right now. Look at the bad guys attacking.
Who cares? Let's look at that X-Men.
And the Enchantress. And what, you look the Troll. All right. Grand Design's coming out real soon. This is the 3rd part of the Ed Piskor retelling of the entire Chris Claremont run of X-Men comic books. He writes and draws it. I think he letters it. It's fantastic. It has a very underground quality to it. So those of you that like superheroes, or at least at one time did, but are too good for it now, Grand Design Part 3 is excellent, and I am really looking forward to it. I should say X-Men Grand Design is very good, and I like it a lot, and the third part's coming out, and I'm sure it will be just as good.
I would like to say something about the Grand Design, and that is that when we were doing the other style of videos, whenever Ed Piscor would do a comic, I would always use his beautiful, beautiful interior images for the for like the splash page or whatever for our video, because they're so pretty. He makes great panels. That is all.
Yeah, excellent. So I'm just showing a couple more pages. Hopefully I can. So that's that scene where Loki is pretending, or Malekith is pretending to be Loki. Thor's like, "Get me to that place now," and then he's like deposited on Jotunheim. He's like, "What foul treachery brings me here?" And then he's got a lot of frost giants to fight. There's some really cool. There's one fantastic scene. I'm going to pick up this page so I can show it to you. Basically, Malekith comes out and he's just like talking mad trash. Oh yeah, we saw that page. So here he is. He's just talking really. He's being a real jerk. And then Captain America basically just throws his shield right in his face, and it's pretty sweet. This is a wrestling terminology, or I mean, for people that are watching wrestling these days, there's a guy named Braun Strowman who's pretty popular, and he says stuff like, "You want these hands, you're gonna get them," and that's Jason Aaron showing that he likes wrestling there. Anyway, I like this issue a lot. If you enjoy all your superhero dudes kicking butt against, like, you know, elves, evil elves and trolls and stuff like that, this is definitely a book for you.
Elves need an ass kicking.
Hell yeah,
they do.
Even the good ones, right?
Legolas was such a prick. I swear to God.
Yeah, yeah. Do they hate each other? That's where we get the dwarves hating elves and vice versa, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Very cool.
Although I believe dwarves were supposed to be unruly, unfriendly, like from long way back.
I got the wrong issue of X-Men. Can you believe that? Oh well. Let's pretend I was talking about the one that just came out. The one that just came out, Cyclops basically loses his eye. He gets shot out. He gets shot out by Hope.
Wow.
And that's his granddaughter, for those of you that are keeping track on the Summers lineage. And yeah, so there you go. I shouldn't really say granddaughter. But she calls Cable her father, so that makes Cyclops her granddad. Anyway, there was a big old scene where there was a big old stand down between Cyclops and Hope, and Wolverine got involved, and she shoots his eye out, and Cyclops has to go back and get healed up by that evil beast that's been hanging out ever since they captured him. And now he's like hanging out in the bottom of this bar that they all live in. And
they moved to a bar.
Yeah, the mutants are hiding away in this bar, and they're holding this guy who's like super evil and mechanical and can, like, you know, not, I mean, he was like really tough for all the X-Men to take down. And he's just hanging out there patching, you know, Cyclops up down in the basement with his one eye now.
So what's this guy's deal? Why is he willing to help the X-Men when they were previously enemies?
I don't know. He's all about screwing around with mutant genes or something like that. I've never been a big fan of the Dark Beast character, but he stems from the old Age of Apocalypse days. Anyway, I didn't know. I didn't have 15 right here, but suffice it to say, Salvador Larroca's art, if you enjoy this, you're going to continue enjoying it. If you dislike it like I do, it was slightly better than his previous issues, but overall, it just looked the way it does. And if you can handle it, then, oh, there's that Beast character I was telling you about. See how he has spider legs like he's from From Beyond or something like that?
Or Mesoberenzin.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, very good. Keep it elfy. Anyway, that's the last one of books that I read last week. Pretend that's a number 15.
I can see it. It says number 15 in the upper left-hand corner.
Oh, very good.
Right.
Oh, look at some other things that are coming out. Tell me what's missing. I got Rose. I've got Blanche. And I've
Jill was here right now.
Sophia. Sorry, Rose. Rose is the only living Golden Girl right now. So do you know who's missing?
I never watched the show.
Oh, come on. It's Dorothy. That'd be Maud.
I know which one she is. I know the character that's missing, but I don't know her name.
Yeah. Sophia was also in Don't Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yes, she was with Sylvester Stallone.
And I think Blanche was the second one to die. Anyway, there you go. Oh, Sophia played the oldest, but was the youngest. Oh,
what?
How about that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's
funny enough. It was also the tallest. You think it would have been B. Arthur, but it wasn't.
How did they pull that off?
Stop it. Anyhow, comics coming out tomorrow. We have Fair Lady #1. This is an Image comic book. These are billed to be standalone mysteries that take place in a fantasy setting. Don't worry, it is a cat character, but it's not a big old furry comic book or anything like that. We got previews of the comic book that were like ash can sized and kind of like gray colored. And not all of it was there, so we don't know the ending. But I think the artwork tells the story pretty good. Look at that. That's pretty nice. And the premise, I mean, I should say the gimmick of a standalone one-issue comic story is very refreshing these days. Since I bitch a lot about how everything seems to be written for the trade, I have a very good feeling that all of these 6 issues are just going to be standalone stories, or at least they're going to run the length of that is necessary to tell the story that is, that is being told. So that's pretty exciting. The author, actually, a little bit about this, got married in our comic book store, Brian Shermer here, and he was going around to different comic shops with his, I don't know at what time, wife, but they were going and getting married at different comic stores that they were really into, and ours was one of them. And they were customers of ours until they moved into the city, the big city. So that's another reason to come on in and get Fair Lady. Is
Shermer going to write all 6 of them?
Yeah, it's his series, so I assume it will be. Yeah.
I'm into the idea of the mystery, first of all, and then second of all, I love the idea of being able to do it in one episode.
Mm-hmm. You hope that the ending isn't rushed, but even still, it wasn't a longer story format is something that was maybe Marvel more in the 70s, but for the most part, DC, until like maybe when they were doing Superman through all the different titles, they relegated longer stories for the most part to miniseries. It wasn't until like the 80s that the comic companies were doing that a little bit more often. So a standalone story was not, for something to like go from like one issue to the next, it was pretty, I don't know when it was revolutionary, but it wasn't something that was common, so this is kind of a nice nostalgic feeling. More recently, there was Hawkeye when Matt Fraction did it. At the very beginning of that, each issue was like a standalone story, and again, it just felt very refreshing because everything is either it feels like, 6 issues are just written, 3 of them are just written so that they'll fit in a nice little collection, or it feels like, God, I have to really, I love Jonathan Hickman, but sometimes it feels like I have to wade through all this stuff to get to the entire story. And it's just nice to have a nice little bite-sized chunk, in a comic book, just tell a nice little fun story. And hopefully this will end that way. But
do you remember there was there's always been like anthology issues, right?
Sure.
There was that one that was done by, I don't know if it was Epic. I don't remember. It was beautiful though, but they're confined to really short stories, and they were still, some of them, done quite well. But to see one all the way, full 32, you said 22 pages?
Yeah, let's say 22 pages.
That's a lot of time to work with. That's no more confining than a short story for an author.
Right. Well, in the 70s, I think comic book page lengths were usually like 17 to 20 pages. So there was even the one thing about an Image comic book is that the author, or I should say the creators that work on it, get to do it any way they want. They might be advised by people within the company to do things a certain way, but overall it's however they see fit. They'll sink or swim depending on how it sells, but they get to do it the way they want, unless of course you're working for Spawn or something like that.
Yeah. The other benefit for Matt Frack, or I'm sorry, what's this dude's name? Shermer?
Yeah, Brian Shermer.
So Brian Shermer gets to show off 6 different stories, right? And then if one of them does particularly well, he might be able to do a longer series with that one. It's kind of, I don't know. I like the idea. I think it's a good means into a bigger piece.
Well, as you see, it says it contains a complete Fair Lady mystery. Think of this as Barnaby Jones from television or something like that. It's just, the setting's going to be different. So I assume every issue is going to be a Fair Lady mystery, since that is the title of the book.
So that'd be the character then, Fair Lady. Yeah. All right, whatever.
There you go. Fantasy again. Oh my gosh! Look at that cover. Look at that guy. He is ripped.
Look at those muscles.
That is so unrealistic.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Who would look like this? There was, I guess, it was going around that bulimia.com or something like that was redoing comic book pictures so that we could see what they would look like in real life. They didn't even try Conan. But yeah, it was like, Iron Man is like, his iron is flabby even.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, I'm just highlighting the fact that Savage Sword Conan is coming out. This is the 4th issue. This is the better series, even though I like the Jason Aaron one, mostly because look at that. That is freaking awesome. Ron Garney is the perfect person for this. The only way this could be better is if this was magazine size and it was black and white like the old days.
Oh, I know. I miss that.
People don't understand. Larry understands if he's still in chat. Black and white is king.
Indeed. Amen.
But color is cool too. Don't get me wrong. But boy, this stuff is just made for it. I would if they made like a special black and white version of it, like a noir issue like DC does, I'd pick this one up. Anyway, Conan, after being stuck on the ocean, is picked up by this pirate crew in the first issue. That boat subsequently sinks as Conan gets the information to a treasure that he is now trying to search out for. And there's all sorts of people within the city that want to get to it before him, and they need to get that information from him. Anyway, the 4th issue is coming out, and I am enjoying the series quite a bit. Good. See, look at that. They're smart enough to put Conan original covers in the background, but they blew it when they didn't make this magazine sized.
Did they?
No, they didn't.
They didn't. They're smart not to.
Yeah, they're totally smart. Hunted Part 3. This is the Amazing Spider-Man story where all his villains are put on an island and they're being hunted down by human-controlled robots that look like Kraven the Hunter. Humberto Ramos was doing the art, but it looks like Gerardo Sandoval is doing this issue. Hopefully it is just a fill-in, although he has a very Humberto Ramos style. It looks pretty good, but it's not as good. Nonetheless, Savage Avengers. Nonetheless, this has been a pretty good story. Nick Spencer is an okay writer, even though there's a lot of people that hate his guts for that Captain America thing he did.
I heard about that.
Some of that is still so Nick Spencer. He has Spider-Man, Peter Parker, living in an apartment with Robbie Robertson's kid and son and a villain named Boomerang. Obviously, Peter Parker's not supposed to know he's a villain, but Spider-Man does. And the reason why this guy isn't like put in prison or anything is because Kingpin is running New York City. That's from like Daredevil. But because of that whole Steve Rogers being a Hydra agent that took over basically America, Boomerang was involved with taking him down. So he has been, he's been exonerated. So that's why he lives with Peter Parker right now, or is able to at least. Anyhow, Nick Spencer. Yay! Amazing Spider-Man. It's been good. If you like this, I recommend picking it up. Oh, this isn't as good as I had hoped it was going to be. I'll let you know about it anyway. Web of Venom. This is a one-shot. It's a series of one-shot stories based in the Venom story that what's that guy? Donny Cates has been writing. And basically there's been symbiotes that have been on Earth for like a long time. Anyway, Carnage is going to have a big old thing going on later on this summer, and this is a one-shot that should fill in for anybody that's into Carnage. Frank Thierry is writing it. He's famous most recently for getting in a Twitter fight with some people.
Ooh, Twitter fight.
We got in a Twitter fight. And
so what you're saying is extremely mature. That's what you're saying.
It was he came to the defense of an artist. Everybody was like, who the F are you? He's like, I'm Frank Thierry. Come on and see me at a convention sometime, if you know what I mean. And people are like, that's not very cool that you're like, threatening people. And it was just a big old. Anyway, all these comic creators were coming to his defense. Frank Thierry is the kind of guy that I'd love to have. Obviously, you want him to have your back. He's threatening people.
Yes, exactly. He's the big guy. He's the big guy nobody wants to fight, right?
I have a friend we call Psycho Steve.
Oh, I know this guy.
You'll ever want to screw with me if he's around. Let me tell you.
Loyalty's worth a lot. Iron. That man is unpredictable.
Anyway, the art looks pretty good. How you like that? Oh, people just thinking to themselves. Oh.
I don't know how I feel about it, actually.
Look at that ceremony. Uh-oh. All right, cool. There looks like some horror stuff going on. Anyway, Carnage. Cult of Carnage. So there actually isn't a whole lot of comics that are coming out this week. I am showing some of... Oh, you know what? I do have an extra review, but maybe we'll get to that later. I don't want to show it.
Look at him being sneaky.
I know. So if you enjoyed War of the Realms as I did, and you're looking at your comic shelf and saying, I'm just going to get that Spider-Man comic book, I might as well get a War of the Realms tie-in. So here is a miniseries called Journey into Mystery. It's written by the McElroys. Who the hell are the McElroys? Well, someone might be able to tell us in chat, or maybe you can look it up as I'm talking about it. Andre Lima Araujo is a pretty darn good illustrator, though. let's hope there's something worth illustrating in this comic book. I see Freya. I see Thor. The art looks pretty good. It kind of reminds me of Art Adams. There's that Savage Avengers. So if you, I don't know, this looks kind of, the art's pretty cool. So yeah, if you have to have another War of the Realms, I didn't order heavy on these. I don't expect a whole lot of people to care. Anyway,
can you give me a big frame a little bit closer? I mean, the art looks nice from a distance, but I really can't tell from here.
I'm sorry. Let me,
yeah, give me an ad.
There you go. So it's nice line work.
It looks like Daughterman.
Okay, very good. It's not though. It's a person named Arojo.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe not as detailed as an Art Adams, but kind of feels that a little bit. Let me just get to a couple more pages.
It looks very nice.
Yeah, it's a nice looking book. It's just not anything that's like it's not super dynamic. Look at that punch right there. It's kind of like that person did not look at how to draw comics the Marvel way when they drew that.
You mean the top frame? I was looking at the middle frame because that's all I saw. I was like, I don't think that guy's punching anybody.
Sorry. Yeah, that's our setup though.
Weren't we talking about blood splatter and how it's all bull hockey a couple weeks ago? You see that blood splatter?
They're allowed to do blood spatter now. They didn't used to. That was against the comic code. I know it was against the comic code if it was on the cover. Speaking of covers, look, it's the symbiote Spider-Man. Why is Gwen Stacy on the cover? Who cares? Art Germ did it. Aren't you happy?
Yeah, and why is it in soft porn focus?
That's kind of his style. Anyway, I do like that cover, I will admit. And I am a Gwen Stacy fan. Screw Mary Jane. Anyway, this is the same book, Symbiote Spider-Man. It's written by Peter David and drawn by Greg Land. It's funny that they would use this and you would say it was kind of, did you compare it to like porny?
A little bit.
Okay, because Greg Land is very well known for taking pornographic pictures of women and basically redrawing them.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Although we're seeing dudes right now, but
there's dudes in porn too, from what I understand.
Anyway, hey, you might know that Mysterio is going to be in the new movie, so of course they got Mysterio in this.
Oh yeah, naturally.
I don't know if this is a mini series, an ongoing, a one shot. I know that Marvel is getting some old timers to come back and write some stories. I know they're not
contract labor.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Although Peter David has been working for them for quite a long time now, so he probably I don't know if he's necessarily tied up as far as an exclusive deal, but they use him. He's not Chris Claremont that only they dust him off like once a year to do something. Peter David most recently was doing the Scarlet Spider, so getting him to do a symbiote Spider-Man story is obvious. Hey, look, Greg Land isn't drawing a whole bunch of oh, there you go.
Yeah, there she is. Found her.
No chick.
Found her. That didn't take long.
But I mean, that's pretty much his basic woman. I mean, it looks pretty much like Emma Frost in X-Men or other ladies he's drawn in the past. But
he draws
whatever. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, the Venom, I guess there's like a lot of stuff that's going on with that aspect of Spider-Man in the future. Pick this one up. I like Peter David. He usually writes a good story. Oh, last but not least, this is a trade paperback. See how? Oh, it's not last but not least. There's actually something behind this. This is of Jack Kirby's Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. This started with issue number 133, or I should say Jack Kirby started with issue number 133. If Nick Spencer was starting over a Spider-Man book, they'd give him a brand new number 1. But this went on for 132 issues, and when they stole Jack Kirby away from Marvel, I'm sure Marvel was like, take him. kind of like Bendis is probably how they looked at it.
Yeah, that's great.
Bendis.
That's great.
Go ahead, take Bendis. But the thing is in the second issue that he does of this, he creates Darkseid. That is still the major villain that DC is using to this day. I mean, Superman's. This is how much. So they didn't give him a brand new #1. They just said, "Hey, keep doing it." I mean, he got a bunch of other things. He got to do all the Fourth World stuff, Mr. Miracle, the Demon, and all that other stuff. But even when he drew Superman, the thing is that they would have Kurt Swan, I think it was, the normal Superman artist, or maybe it was Kurt Schaffenberger, whoever the hell it was, some old-timey guy. They got him to redraw Superman's face. So anytime that dude appears in here, that is not a Kirby face on Superman. He creates the Manhattan Guardian. That character is used all the time. He does all the cool stuff in this book that he did in Fantastic Four. If you are a fan of the Jack Kirby stuff but haven't read any of the DC stuff, I suggest you read this. I mean, geez, like I said, Darkseid's introduced in this. This is like a super important book. And look how awesome it is with the orange. I like that a lot.
Orange is nice.
Orange is nice. Okay, last but not least, we've got Box Brown. He's been doing a lot of autobiographies lately. He did Andre the Giant. I'm going to call Tetris an autobiography. He did another one I can't think of right now. Anyway, he has now done the autobiography on Cannabis.
Nice.
Box Brown is sorry, Larry, about this. Box Brown is a well-known pothead. He probably isn't as much now that he has a kid, and he's doing all these second books. He doesn't want people to think poorly of him, but he is still allowed to do this this book about weed. And Box Brown is an underground artist who did earmuffs. Anybody? He used to do books that were named like fuck shits and stuff like that.
How did that sell?
That sold really well here, man. When we first opened, there was such awesome independent materials that were coming out. We still have good things that are coming in, but I'm not as active in it. And one of the reasons is Box Brown isn't producing that kind of material anymore. Once every few years, he comes out with a book like this. Oh, he did the Andy Kaufman book also, which we did in one of our previous other type of episodes. We
did Kaufman and the wrestling one.
Yeah. Wait, we did the Andre the Giant one?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that one was very good stuff. And so Box Brown has a very simple story or style as far as art is concerned. But kind of like with the Tetris book, he took what actually was very very in-depth and very difficult concepts. He took those and he was able to illustrate them in a comic book style, so that was very easy to understand. And when I'm talking about that, what I'm really saying is, like in Tetris, there was all these legal situations to get the game to Japan, and then all these legal obstacles to get it to America, and the different types of gaming consoles that got the rights to things. And then, of course, the KGB was involved. So there was a lot of crazy stuff going on, and he had to like sort that out in comic book form. And he did a really great job. And I assume, what with the title, it says the illegalization of weed in America, there is going to be some, government shenanigans going on in this. So
I'm certain that's true.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's going to be, partially it's going to be this, really fun little story about weed and how it's grown. And, here we have in the beginning, who used it, and it's going to be very simple like that, but then it's going to be quickly, hey, we can't not have people drinking. There you go. So Cannabis. There you go. Box Brown. First
Box Brown. Yep. No, I saw something about that earlier today. I don't know. Was it on your Instagram?
Yeah, it was in our Instagram. Follow the Fantastic Comics Instagram. I usually show things that are coming out. Sometimes that was stuff that I was unboxing today. Unboxing, get it? Tomorrow, if I was to show this on Instagram, I'd probably show a couple of these pages we just saw. And yeah, I like that a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, I hashtagged that 420 when I put the picture up on Instagram.
That was one of the first picture I ever posted on Instagram, I think, was from a pot plant I was growing when I was living in California.
Good move.
And like, it was crazy. It was like the number of people that crawl out of the woodwork for pot is nuts.
It's a great business. That's
how that's what legalize opium, huh?
In the store, it'll be comic books and weed.
I think I mean I'd be good with that.
Good with that. I don't think my landlord would.
Little indica, a little bit of sit down.
No, we're just doing CBDs here at the store. Just CBD. So I also had one more comic to review.
I didn't forget.
All right. I read Major X.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Do tell. I mean, I'm not going to read it. I have to rely on you for my opinion.
So, let me tell you right off. There is so much potential head trauma in this book. I mean, it is people punching each other in the head. Look at that. I didn't open to an advertisement. I opened to someone socking somebody in the face.
And a really weirdly drawn cable.
Somebody in the face. Boom, sucking somebody in the head. The CTE in this book alone. Holy cow. Okay, so Major X is very 90s based. It feels like a comic book from that time period because it's written and drawn by Rob Liefeld,
who was a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is the deal. Mutant or Major X comes from not the future, but kind of like a parallel timeline where things were really great for mutants until they weren't. And now he's coming to our time, which seems to be the past because Old Man Cable isn't dead like he was in Extermination most recently. And Wolverine is, I don't know. Anyway, he has to come over here and get people to help him out. There's Deadpool in this one. There's a character named Dreadpool that looks just like Deadpool in this one. There's Wolverine. There's Cable. There's some weird-ass beast. And there's a reveal at the end that I know that was spoiled last week on who Major X is. But we find out in the end. And we find out in the end that it's Cable's son. What's funny is, right here, I saw a review where somebody was talking about it, and he's like, oh, yeah, I know who you are, son. He even calls him son. But then on the very next picture, he's shocked as hell that it's that guy. So that was kind of funny.
Does Rob Liefeld also use gay porn for his models?
Stop that. He would never do that. He's a good Christian man. Anyway, this book was if you like this kind of book, this is a 10 out of 10, without a doubt. It was hilarious to read. I found it very enjoyable in a... I don't know. I wasn't going for irony when I was enjoying it.
Did you laugh at Rob Liefeld or with Rob Liefeld?
Well, I don't think Rob laughs with... I mean, he can like poke fun at things. I mean, he's been, to his face, that guy has been taught super, super crazy shit too. Usually the no feet stuff, or you can't draw, or you suck, you know.
Well, there are no feet in porn. There's
exactly. Well, exactly. And I don't know. Again, he's got a lot of problems. And not all of them are just putting stuff on the comic book page.
Does he have 99 problems, but a B ain't one? Possibly.
But a B ain't one? No. Did you know that he's married to one of 3 triplets?
No, I didn't, but I'm also not impressed.
My buddy who used to work for Rob as an inker for Extreme Studios had a girlfriend at the time who was trying to break into Hollywood. And she would go to commercial interviews or tryouts or whatever. And Rob Liefeld's wife was an actress, and she'd always get those she'd get the callbacks, but my friend's girlfriend wouldn't.
I see.
But she's done stuff now. So there you go.
Is she is she deserving of being a model? Is she interesting looking?
Wait, what, my friend's girlfriend or Rob's wife?
Whoever is interesting looking, I don't know.
The person I'm talking about, Trish, is an actress. I don't know what Rob's wife's all about.
Is she Canadian?
No, I just like saying that sometimes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
We're early.
We're early.
It's 10:15, which is that's parlance for late back in the day, because we used to try to stop at 10, but we realized that was foolhardy because we didn't even get started till 9:30.
Well, I was rushing through those reviews and stuff, but I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna put the camera back on.
Angle it a little bit, man. Turn it a little bit.
How's that?
It's better like after you talk because it's
I know
the camera.
I'll leave that
on. Not.
All right. So, all right, I'm back. I just had to move. Anything from you, Lewell?
Look at those ribs. I mean, the detail on that Batman statue's ribs. And I'm hungry. You know where I'm going on Thursday?
Where's that?
Texas.
Oh, yeah? You going to get some Texas barbecue?
No, I don't really like barbecue.
Yeah. Oh.
No. I'm going to a book sale in San Antonio.
I see.
It's a big book sale. Like, I don't know, ridiculous amount of books.
Are you do you have our cards made up yet?
No.
People, this guy has like 3 or 4 different podcasts that he's working on because he is a shiftless bum who has no job other than trying to sell paperbacks online through Instagram.
You're definitely giving away more information than I wish you would. But thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
So that's what he does. And I don't know where I was going with that, but you gotta check out our iTunes account because I don't think it was working out on the Black Company one.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Yeah. So anyway, he has a podcast network that he is assembling called Sci-Fi Fantasy Read Along. And right now he is with me and our friend Philip doing The Black Company. And with a woman named Jill, he is doing Sabriel, which is a young adult fantasy novel. And Sunday, the far future. Pardon me?
Who's this Jill person?
I don't know. You can introduce her if you'd like to. She's a bum.
It's Yule's girlfriend.
Yeah, she's
Jill.
We're my significant other. I don't know. Do you have to be married to have that title?
No, man. You're common law married. I don't care what you say.
That's a legal matter, and I try not to get.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We're going steady. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. We're recording Sabriel chapter 2 oh no, it's actually the second part. It's 7 through 12. We're doing that tomorrow after, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something.
Wow. All right, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. It is awesome.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna fix this stuff. I don't know if there's actually a real problem or not, but I mean eventually I'll get there. I don't even remember how to log into iTunes, honestly. I'll have to figure that out.
Well, anyhow, you can catch us on Stitcher. You can catch us on YouTube.
I think it's anywhere you can get a podcast, really.
Oh, really?
It's working. Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's just an RSS feed, right? So
now on YouTube, it's Paperback Goldmine, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Which is also your Instagram handle.
Yeah, which is that's why things are confusing and why I haven't gotten cards made yet, because I don't really know how to marry the two brands. I'm trying to figure out a good way to just integrate the two and then get rid of one of them.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would have something so that when you go to these book fairs, you could be, pointing people in our direction.
This is not a book fair. This is a library sale.
People there are just as good.
No,
You
no, no,
gotta-
no. You don't understand. This is just a bunch of book dealers like elbowing each other out of the way to get the good books.
I see. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm always looking for Gateway by Frederick Pohl and Solaris by Stanislaw Lem. Any hardcover Stanislaw Lem I'm looking for, and the Strugatsky brothers, of course. I'd get Philip K. Dick, but only to sell it. I don't give a shit.
God, you used to be the biggest dickhead.
That's the joke. That's
he
the
is.
joke.
He is a dickhead.
Yeah.
But he used to be the biggest dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah. I read 11 of his books. That's more than any other author. I've never read more books by one author than that guy. And I can say with certainty that he's all right. He's good. He's good.
Did you ever do anything with those interviews with that guy you talked to?
Ray Nelson.
Check this out. What was his name?
His name is Ray Nelson, and he co-authored the Ganymede Takeover with Philip K. Dick.
But even better than that, he wrote a short story called
I hate that movie.
They Live. And it was made into a comic book. And that was made into a movie, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's
made into a bad
movie. What I mean is, it might have gone in that order. And of course, Roddy Piper was in it.
Yes, it was for precisely that reason. Because unlike you, I don't like wrestling. And when I was a kid, I didn't like wrestling. And when I saw that movie on late night TV, probably in the summertime when I was allowed to stay up as late as I wanted, that fight scene just wouldn't stop. And it just kept going and going and going. And I was just, whenever you're ready, just put the glasses on him, just go ahead and kill him. I don't care. Just make it end. And it never ended. It was like 15 minutes of nonsense.
Someday, when you and I are in the same place together, I'm going to buy some cheap sunglasses.
You son of a bitch.
And either you are going to try and put them on me.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to try and put them on you.
This is real simple. Somebody says, hey, man, try these sunglasses on. I'll be like, all right, done.
All right, fine. Then obviously I'm going to be the person that doesn't want to put them on.
Dude, it's easy. You just kick them in the nuts and then you put the glasses on them.
Let's do it. It will be great.
Okay, I will kick you in the nuts and put the glasses on you. That's right. Such a bad movie.
No, I will not. No, be quiet.
What? I didn't enjoy it at all.
I mean, all right. You know what? I can have my Dune. You can have They Live Stinks.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
all
fair.
right.
I mean, if I'm being accurate, I did not like it. I just, it's not for me. I'm not the fan base for that.
I just love like when he's looking in the magazine and it's like procreate, obey, all that stuff. It just feels so real. I mean, oh my God, it feels so good.
Okay, so let me ask you this. This guy hung around with Philip K. Dick in Berkeley back in the day before Philip K. Dick became famous. But while he was pumping out a short story every week, pumping out a novel every other month, you don't think it all sounds like the dude just was given a story? Because that's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound, I don't think Ray's that kind of an author, to be honest. I think he borrowed or was given that story.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, sometimes, you get an inkling of an idea that was just a throwaway concept from somebody that wasn't ever going to use it also.
Well, if you read Philip K. Dick stories, you will recognize the themes and motifs of that story very clearly.
Yeah.
Whatever, no big deal. I'm not calling him a plagiarist or anything. It's just
yeah. It's funny. We were talking in the store about who was it? Chip Zdarsky, and how Zdarsky and how he's writing a much better comic book these days. You know, there was a time in Peter Parker Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man where, you know, there was definitely a moment where he got better, and his Marvel 2-in-1 was pretty good. And, you know, a lot of people are enjoying some of the stuff that he's doing in Daredevil. And our buddy Jeff was like, you think Matt Fraction's writing that stuff for him? Because Matt Fraction's the one that does Sex Criminals with him.
Right.
And, you know, Sex Criminals doesn't really come out that often. And I said, you know, it would be pretty funny because, like, Matt Fraction is kind of like, you know, an Ed Brubaker dude. And Ed Brubaker hates working for Marvel and DC so much that, you know, it's pretty... he's kind of like moonlighting. He's given the scripts to Zdarsky. Zdarsky's an artist. All writers are going to be forgiving for an artist, but, you know, another writer, how dare you cross that picket line?
Well, there's the things that you do for your friends too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. Why not?
Too.
Somebody had to befriend Rod Stewart, you know, or he wouldn't have made it famous.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I'm making that up. I don't know how Rod Stewart got famous, but I can't otherwise explain it.
It was just infatuation, man.
I'm glad you think I'm funny sometimes, because most people do not.
I'm going to make sure that Joanne, that is Jill's mother, hears that.
She loves all Rod Stewart, doesn't she?
There was a Rod Stewart, he was like saying Merry Christmas to everybody on Twitter. So I made sure to like that so that I could find it, so that I could bring that to her. And she thought that was the greatest thing ever.
If you think I'm sexy, you want my body.
Maggie May, right? That's a good song.
It's a good song. And he might have one other, Maggie, I think.
Oh, it's another one named Maggie?
I don't know.
There was that Maggie's Farm.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, hell.
Maggie's the one about going back to school.
Sure.
I think it's Maggie.
I'm going to just agree with you because
it's a good song. It is a good song.
Yeah.
But Rod Stewart would not make it in this. Well, he might actually. He's super, super good singer. But I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. What do you got going on for the rest of the week?
Well, we are stamping comic books for Free Comic Book Day,
which is when?
We have stickers. May 4th, the first Saturday in May, as always.
All right, and that's Free Comic Book Day, and you're already stamping comics, which means you've already got comics.
Dude, we got them all in. We were missing like 20 or 30 copies of something, but that's about it. This is going to be one of the most flawless executions of Free Comic Day ever.
That's great news. That's good news. Well, what do you have for Free Comic Day? Anything?
Nothing going on other than free comics.
I guess you didn't hear me. What did you get? What's good for Free Comic Book Day? What's interesting?
I didn't realize. There is. So I was talking about that Web of Carnage or Web of Venom Carnage book that's coming out this week. There is going to be the first Donny Cates Ryan Stegman Carnage story introduced before the big series comes out for Free Comic Day.
Fantastic.
Free Comic Book Day. Yeah.
Dude, save like 500 of those.
Yeah.
Get rich, like off comics.
I think most people are going to be doing this. So I don't really think I have to worry about it too much. There's also a Dark Horse offering, which is going to have, how much I love it, a Black Hammer story.
Nice.
DC's doing something, I can't remember what. They also have an all ages book that's going to, so they're doing these original graphic novels for all ages, a young adult line, and one of them that's coming out soon is going to be illustrated by Gustavo Duarte, and he has a very kind of cartoony style, but it's so good. I mean, it's genius work. Anyway, that's going to be coming out. There's going to be an Avengers by Jason Aaron that's coming out. So that, along with Boom offerings and God, I don't know if there's going to be a Bongo one, since Bongo isn't doing any comic books anymore, which is those are always the ones I'm looking forward to the most, actually. God, it's sad.
What are they like?
Bongo is the Simpsons comic book.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, are they like are they the Halloween special type thing, or what? How are they different?
It could be anything. It's usually like a Bart story, along with something else that company puts out, like SpongeBob. But again, there is no SpongeBob anymore. Bummer. But there's like a Robotech book. There's always a Judge Dredd book I get. I try and get everything, at least a little bit of everything. Some, not as much. And if it's something that I'm not going to carry in the store, probably not. But I try and get. I usually hear that I'm the best as far as getting everything for people. Just sometimes not as much, depending on what the book is.
Sure. Well, you had that Umbrella Academy, like what, 18 years ago? When was that?
That was another store, and
I know. I'm kidding. Yeah. And it was a long time ago, right?
We sold that for like $35.
That's great, man. It was. I mean, it's perfectly timed. The show comes out, the reprints aren't available yet. You've got a copy. Bam.
Hold on. So I did. Did you look at our Instagram yesterday? Did you see that video that I posted?
It was that huge stack of graphic novels that I commented on. Said all the fables.
Oh, you did say that. You see that? Yeah. That was one of probably what I got in about 15 stacks. Like that.
Wait, what?
So we buy comics, trade paperbacks from people. Some we put back out on the shelf if it's in a perfect saleable condition. And then other ones we just price it half off or less. There's a store right next to us that does the same thing, so we might as well.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, sons of bitches. They have new comic books sometimes too.
Oh man,
damn, it kills me.
Don't blame them. The business model works. They're gonna eat everybody.
That's right. That's why we're gonna beat them at their own game. We're buying sci-fi and fantasy novels too.
Are you really?
Oh yeah. Anyhow, I haven't really bought any yet, but I brought some in from home, Conan and stuff. Anyhow. I had a big old buy of trade paperbacks, and in those trade paperbacks, I got volume 1 and 2 of Umbrella Academy. So if anybody wants them that is listening to this, you can come on into the store, and I've got a couple copies of those.
That's really cool, actually.
I'm very excited about that. There was also some other really good books that now I don't have to go through Diamond in order to get, like Day Tripper, which is one of my all-time favorite books.
Nice.
The Filth, which is another awesome Grant Morrison comic book, and so I got that in stock, which is excellent.
Cool.
And I don't have to go through the normal channels in order to make that happen.
I love to see the stuff that you bought.
Yeah, well, you'll see more because we're gonna put it to awesome music.
Well, that's cool. I want to see your book section when you set it up.
Oh yeah. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Well, it's slowly. We really haven't worked too hard on the sci-fi fantasy yet.
Well, someday you'll get them. Don't worry.
Someday.
You'll put Half Price right out of business.
People hear this and they get to the 35th hour. They're going to find out about us buying sci-fi fantasy books.
That's not what this is about. We're having a conversation. We got friends in the chat. It's not a big deal.
That's right.
And anybody that watches this video all the way to the end, I applaud them and thank them for their attention. But,
yeah. And let me tell you, I was watching last week's video so that I could get all the stuff that, I reviewed and get all the names of the people that worked on the books that we talked about in the description down below. But as I was doing that, I was reading the chat, and oh my God, it was very, very entertaining. These guys are awesome. They play off each other very well.
Yeah, they're having a good time. They're having a good time. I try not to interfere because I don't know.
I see some Always Sunny conversation in there, so that's cool too.
Yes. If you guys do actually want Yule's attention, you're going to have to @ Fantastic Comics.
One last thing I want to say before we leave. On the weekend, I went to the Berkeley Comic Show, which happens like once every 3 months. And that's where dealers and comic stores from around the area basically just sell comic books, back issues and things like that.
Oh, do you remember when you could go to Comic Cons and see back issues?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy man, that's been years.
That was one of the best. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go on.
That's all right. So I went there this week with like $600.
Whoa, where did you get $600, sir?
Well, I
could have selling gasoline in the backyard. What?
Well, I had the one before I had saved like over $100 in coins, but I just didn't feed the dog for a few days, so I saved.
Dude, that is such a dick move, by the way. It's like, here's my pennies, and then you don't feed your dog. And it's all for comic books, man.
I rolled the coins and I used bills that day.
I know. We've already had this. We've already had this moment.
Anyway, I got some real. I bought a comic book. Oh my god, I can't believe I did it. I bought a comic book for $180.
What was it?
It was Spider-Man 152. It was not CGC. It was that CBCS company or whatever they are. But they graded the comic book at a 9.8. And I went to the guy who runs the show. He was at the door taking money. And I said, how much is a 9.8 worth? Something from when I was a kid. And we had this kind of philosophical conversation about it. Yeah, it was like a 9.8. Whew, that's a really high grade. So I really needed that issue anyway, because I'm building my Spider-Man collection from 150 to 250. Actually, it's 151 to 251, but I got 252. So it's going to be 150 to 252. And I've got 252. And I had the thing that got me going was the day you loaned me that $20 that I don't think I ever paid you back. When I got the 151, and oh my god, the condition in that comic was so beautiful, and it was not CGC'd. It wasn't in a slab, and it was so good. I just knew I had to finish my Spider-Man run. But I also got some X-Men comics that were not slabbed. That's again CGCing them. I got them raw. And I paid
out from the wild, man. You got them in the wild.
I did. I got them out in the wild. I think for 2 issues of X-Men. One was 129. The other one was 132. I paid $230 for those.
I honestly think it's worth it.
It was. I really enjoyed going back and looking at. One guy was selling 129 for $200. He had 2 copies of them. The guy I ultimately bought from, he had one for 175 and 185. And although the 185 was technically a better condition copy, it had a printer defect. And I didn't think that the $10 difference was really that big a deal with just the minor ticks that I saw in the comic book that I actually ended up getting. So he gave me a deal and I was very happy. That was A1 Comics in Sacramento that I got those from.
They gave you a deal?
Well, I mean, it's the comic show. There's always some sort of deal.
Their stuff in their store is very pricey, but they have a lot of really good stuff. So I think that they understand the whole, if you pay people well, they'll sell you their stuff. I think they get it.
Yes. I was just reading chat.
Did you see the question from Fantinium? He wants to know what you got when you did that buy. I told him it was mostly Willingham's Fables.
Yeah, it was mostly Vertigo type stuff. Grant Morrison, Mike Carey, so a lot of unwritten, Fables, anything that I wasn't desirous to put out on the shelf, like an entire run of the old version of Unwritten. I basically stickered them at $5 or $10, depending on how much they were. Not all of it's out, but it is slowly occurring.
Is it already started to sell?
We aren't open technically on Tuesdays, and I don't think I sold any.
Okay, so you literally got it and haven't been able to sell any of it yet.
Right.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how that goes. Let's talk about that next week. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you all about our sale items.
Yes.
Our
Yes.
discount
And
items.
we're getting awfully close to May already, huh?
Oh God. Hey.
What?
In one more week, I will have all of them stamped, and it will still be 2 weeks to go. So I will be okay.
No, that's good. I'm glad you're prepared, and I'm glad it's going to be a good free comic book day. Has it been good for the industry?
Yeah. So we're going to do things a little bit different this week. I've heard of many stores that approach free comic book day differently. We have in the past had people in the store. We had Gail Simone one time. That was quite a thing. And we've had big sales. I've heard other stores have sales actually the week after, or they have sales only on product that they have that are free comics. I've also heard people don't get any of the free comics and they just give their own comics away for free.
Oh, wow. Really?
So there's all sorts of ways people approach free comic book day. But I like to try and get people excited for things that are coming out. So I would never skimp on like a big event. It doesn't always seem like it's the greatest thing, but we always have our best day on free comic book day, no matter what approach we take. This year it's going to be no frills. I guess it was a bit. We usually have people that come from the 501st. That's the Stormtrooper division of Star Wars fandom, I guess.
Yeah, I remember.
And they will not, for the first time ever in our store's history, be at our store for free comic book day.
Did they just decide that they wanted to take a better offer or what?
No way. I don't want to say who anybody is.
Who poached them? Who poached them?
Skywalker Ranch, I guess, is the one that did it.
Okay, well, that's kind of legit.
I know they're doing something for Lucasfilm, but I guess there's going to be a F ton of stormtroopers up there or something.
That's kind of hilarious, but it's like, can't they do it on a different day besides free comic book day?
I know. Well, it's on the 4th, which is May the 4th be with you, which is like we were going to do this all Star Wars themed shit, and it was
yeah. May the 4th be with you. So you know, puns are the lowest form of humor. They really are.
They found out how much I don't like the new movies.
Right. Who likes those?
Lots of people do.
Wait, hold on. Which ones are new?
Last Jedi and something else.
Okay.
And Solo. And
those are all better than the last movies that Lucas made.
I guess so. I mean, if that's what we're judging them on, yes.
That's all we can judge them on, because the early movies are just a thing of their own.
Yeah.
They're just, they're locked in time, man. They're in amber.
Star Wars, yeah. I have some really big time customers as far as the Star Wars is concerned. I asked this one gentleman, Mr. S, if he got the Jabba the Hutt play palace thing or whatever the hell, barge. And it's like an $800 item that Mattel, you basically had to kickstart through Mattel this thing if you wanted it. And he totally got it. He showed me pictures, and the thing is awesome. They even have a railing that is damaged, like where Luke Skywalker is swinging his lightsaber in the first part of Return of the Jedi.
That's pretty cool. Cool. Did they also get the vehicle from the wreck that he was in?
No, this is just the barge, dude.
Oh, so these aren't people collecting the.
Oh, no, I don't know what else he has. I know he and his kids have played with it. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
that's cool,
so this guy, you can't tell him that Last Jedi sucked or that Rogue One is a is a ghoulish movie because of all the undead characters in it. He's like, oh, it's not undead.
It is not undead. It's fine. It's totally acceptable. Rogue One was pretty great.
I'm sure it was. But anyhow, this is there you go. So Star Wars stuff.
Star Wars.
We've done talked about everything today.
Yeah, hold on. Fantinium just burned me good. Damn it. I am not. That's good though. Yule, let's turn this off. Fantinium's being mean to me.
Okay. Well, that is definitely the reason. Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. I have a really good time when we do this. I think Yule does too. I like it that y'all join and have good times in the chat. If we didn't answer any of your questions, you should probably re-ask them right now. But besides that, we're about to go off air. Fantinium is a bully. Yeah, we'll do this again next week. I'm going to be in Texas until Monday. So, yeah. Maybe you want to make the thing yourself this time, Yule.
Oh, wow. I will get to learn to do something new.
Right. All right. So let's see. Anything in chat real quick? Rogue One was trash. Oh, Larry. Fantinium's a bully. Thank you. See you guys next week. See you guys next week, everybody. Indeed. All right. Thanks for showing up, and we'll see y'all. Take care.
Take care.